What's up, Gaming Nation? This is Brandon from Top10Gamer.com. Today I'm super excited. I've got a $1,500 gaming PC to show you guys. You know, I keep looking around the internet at people's PC builds, and a lot of these are sponsored. I mean, what the heck is that? How come they're recommending a particular build that they had sponsored from a manufacturer? This is a build that I use each and every single day. So I want to go over the parts and the accessories and everything I got with this build with my own money and that I'm going to use myself, so you guys could get a high performance PC build that is actually very functional as well. Okay, so for those of you who just want to see the build, I've put all the links to all these products in the description below with their model numbers, so you can do that if you want to get out of here and not listen to me. That's fine. I'm going to go over the products real quick, and then I'm going to take you guys through them one by one and tell you why I bought each one of them. Okay, for case, we've got the CM Storm Enforcer. For processor, it's the i7-3770K. We've got a GeForce GTX 660 Ti graphics card. For power supply, it's the OCZ Mod Extreme Pro 600 watt version. For solid state drive, it's the Samsung 840. It's not the Pro version. It's the 250 gigabyte version. For the CPU cooler, it's the Hyper 212 Evo. Motherboard, it's the Z77X UD3H, and for monitor, I chose the Asus VS247H-P. Now, as you can see, the DVD drive isn't here. I didn't have a box for it. It's just a light-on DVD, $20 version. And as you notice, I didn't have a hard drive. Well, that's because I have a lot of external hard drives. I didn't really need a hard drive. I wanted everything to run off my solid-state drive. If you want a hard drive, I can highly recommend to you the Western Digital red version. I was going to get the 3 terabyte version, still might end up doing so that's something you guys might want to look into. Okay, now here's a look at why I bought each one of these parts. Okay guys, first things first, we're going to talk about my case. This is the Cooler Master Storm Enforcer. Now there's a number of reasons that I purchased this particular case. It's a mid-sized tower. That's exactly what I wanted. I wanted USB 3.0 accessibility here in the top front I/O for my external hard drive that's also uses USB 3.0. I wanted some good options in here. I really like the Storm Enforcer because you can really remove a lot of parts. Here's a box I moved that you could put some of your peripherals in. And also, as you can see, if you can zoom in here really close, I have my Samsung 840 and a 2.5 inch slot. So it's really nice that this particular case allows you to put up to 2 solid-state drives right here, and then also it gives you all your converters, so that if you want to take those 3.5, if you want to take this 3.5 inch slot and put more 2.5 inch drives or whatever you've got in there, you can do it. Additional features I really like about it are the big fans in the front and the back. You can also put another 200 millimeter fan up here on top. Overall, this is a fantastic case for $79.99. Other cases I was looking in this particular area were the NZXT Guardian and the HAF 912. I really like what Cooler Master has to offer as far as its easy in and out drive bays. It's, you know, I change things in a pretty good amount, so for me, that's something that I wanted. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the processor. Okay, for processor, I've got the i7-3770K. A lot of you are probably wondering why I went with such a high-end processor. Well, when obviously an i5-3570K would do just about the same thing when it comes to gaming. You know, for me personally, I do some video editing. I do a lot of things on my computer. I really wanted the hyperthreading aspect of all this. Yeah, you really can't take advantage of that in games yet, but for me, if it saves me, you know, if it saves me 10 minutes a day, you know, over the next 2, 3, 4 years, that's really worth it for me. So I went with the i7-3770K. A good option in this is also the i5-3570K if you're not worried about hyperthreading, or the AMD FX 8350. Okay, for graphics card, I went with the GTX 660 Ti. This is the one with 3 gigabytes of GDDR5 memory. It's model number 03GP43663KR in the description below. I went with this particular model because it had a really great rebate on it. Got it for about 280 bucks. Models that you might want to also look at are the Radeon HT7950. Do I prefer a GeForce card? Not necessarily. You know, I play a lot of Battlefield 3 and I've had some driver issues in the past, so I tend to go with NVIDIA. I think they have about a 60-40 or 70-30 hold on the marketplace over the Radeon cards. Again, that's why I got this GTX 660 Ti. If you wanted to go with a cheaper processor in the i5-3570K, then you could certainly get a little bit more performance out of maybe like a GTX 670. You could also go the other way and spend a little bit less money and go with the GTX 660, which is also a great card. Again, this one's right in the middle. It allows me to run everything that I do, every game I play, on ultra high resolution settings. I have multiple monitors. It helps me do that. Really, it's a great card. Okay, so for our power supply, we have the OCZ Mod Extreme Pro. Now, I know what maybe some of you are thinking that really know a lot about computers. Why didn't you get something with Japanese capacitors? Well, this is a great power supply. It's modular. I can take the cables off. It's easy to manage. I've owned several of these. I've never had any problem with them. They come with a 3-year warranty, okay, and it has a mean time before failure of more than 100,000 hours. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm willing to take a chance at a cheaper power supply, slightly cheaper. It's still an 80+ certified power supply, typically 86%, I think it said in its technical details. And really, this is multi-GPU ready. I can overclock with this. This gives me everything I need. So for me, practicality-wise, I was going to spend around $70 on a power supply. If you find this thing on rebate, occasionally you can get it for about 50 bucks. So look around, see if you can find a rebate. Really, I think this modular power supply is a great deal. It's about the cheapest one you'll find that's 80+ and modular, and still pretty good quality. Okay, so for a solid state drive, I went with the Samsung 840 250GB version. This is a super cheap option if you're looking for a solid state drive. Even the 500 gig version is pretty cheap, really. I wanted to show you guys just how fast I can turn on my computer. Are you ready for this? Wow, it's on. No, just kidding with you guys. I wanted to show you how fast it shuts down. This was actually not part of the build. This is my 27-inch ViewSonic VX2753MH LED. Okay, so I'm going to shut down the computer here. Okay, it's off. It's officially off now. That was pretty fast. Now we're going to turn it back on here. I'll just give it a second to reset. Here we go. Again, if you got the Samsung 840 Pro, it might load just a little bit faster for you, but you know, for the price increase, I'd just rather have additional capacity than a few extra seconds loading it. This is really nice. I open a lot of different windows. I use all 4 browsers. Oftentimes I'm playing a game, watching Twitch TV, doing some kind of editing, and browsing the internet all at the same time. Okay, it's up. Couldn't even finish my train of thought. As you can see, the Samsung 840 is a great option. It's one of the most popular solid-state drives on the market. I highly recommend it. Okay, so for CPU cooler, I went with the Hyper 212 Evo. The i7-3770K does come with a CPU cooler, and here's a secret for you guys. If you're not overclocking at all, you probably can use that. Obviously, it came with the CPU. It's going to be good enough for it. So you don't even need this if you're not planning to overclock. You can just use the stock cooler. Now, if you are, the Hyper 212 Evo is one of the best CPU coolers from $0 to $100. And I got this one for 22 bucks. For those of you who think that liquid cooling is automatically better, that's not necessarily the case. This particular CPU has been shown to do just about as good as everything all the way up to the Corsair Hydro Series H100. So, if you're going to get a CPU cooler, I recommend the Hyper 212 Evo. Either that or step up into water cooling into that H100 range. Okay guys, I just realized in my original part of the video I didn't mention what kind of RAM I got. I got 16 gigabytes of Corsair Vengeance RAM. Some of you are going to say, oh no, you don't even need that much. You can get 12 or 8 and that's just as fine. Okay, I do some video editing, so I wanted a little bit more. Some of you may even want 32 gigs. I recommend you buy whatever it is up front. Go ahead and purchase it. I bought this a couple weeks ago. RAM's been going up in price lately, so you're going to spend more than $100 for 16 gigabytes of RAM. This particular RAM Not really anything special about it. I mean, I think it's touted as gaming RAM. I think it has a cast latency of around 9, but people obsess about cast latency when they don't need to. For gaming benchmarks, cast latency isn't really all that important. I know that some of you are gasping right now for air, but this is true. Go out, buy yourself some pretty cheap RAM. I really like Kingston's HyperX. Probably my favorite RAM is the G-Skill Ripjaws, but this time, the Corsair Vengeance, it looked good, it was cheap, I went with it. Okay, for motherboard, I went with the Z77X UD3H. Now I know what you're thinking, hey, this is pretty expensive motherboards, and as far as benchmarking is concerned, there are some faster motherboards out there that boot faster. You know what, I'm really familiar with Gigabyte, I like the product they offer. I've used Gigabyte boards and ASUS boards in the past, and I like the reliability that they give me. If you guys just need to overclock a little bit, like me, I just wanted to push my CPU to about 4 gigahertz, 4.1 gigahertz. I had no problem making that stable on this board with my CPU cooler. You know what, if you want to go beyond that, if you really want to push it, go with the ASRock Extreme 4. That has the fast boot. It's probably the fastest motherboard in the $120 to $200 price range. Tom's Hardware recently did an article on that, so you can look it up. If you want something fast, go with the ASRock Extreme 4. If you want something reliable, the Z77X UD3H is a really good option. Okay guys, this is a ASUS VS247H-P. I really like ASUS monitors when it comes to gaming. Most of their TN panel LCD monitors have a sub 1 frame input lag. I don't actually know that on this one, but I've used the VH236H monitor in the past, the Evo monitor used for all the gaming tournaments that all the professional gamers trust. And it's very similar to this one. I highly recommend it if you want something that's not going to slow you down in the game. Now let's take a closer look. Another reason I bought it is because how thin it is, as well as it comes with a lot of options in the back. Here we have an HDMI port, an analog, and a DVI port. So you have a lot of, it looks like it also has an audio jack here. So as you can see, it gives you a lot of features in the $149 price range. It can't be beat. Again, I highly recommend the ASUS VS247H-P. I'll put a link in the description below. There are other really good monitors out there as well, but this is the one for me that stood out. Okay guys, that's it for my $1,500 gaming PC build. This build after rebates came in at $1,475. Really great build. I've been using it for a couple weeks now. It seems faster than my old build, which actually was a really good computer. It was an i7-2600K with a 560 Ti graphics card. Hopefully I've earned some street cred with you guys. If I had, press the subscribe button below. We're going to have these kind of real reviews where I talk face to face to you guys and review real products. You know, you go out there, if you just see an image on a video, a lot of times that person hasn't really bought the products. I want to bring the products to you. I'm going to buy them if I have to, and I'm going to show you guys exactly how they are and what I think of them. And you know what? So far they're not sponsored, and so I'm just going to show you whatever I'm getting myself. Now, I also want to help feature you guys. So if you're making YouTube videos, if you're streaming on Twitch TV, if you're passionate about gaming, if you're doing tournaments or charity events, I want to feature that here on my YouTube channel as well as top10gamer.com. If you like this, if I've earned some gaming cred with you, press the subscribe button and the like button below. If not, then hopefully I'll see you another time. Again, stick around for this funny moment of the day each day we do, which has a funny picture or video that hopefully, guys, gives you a little bit of a chuckle.
Okay, so today's funny moment of the day is more of a warning for you guys to stay away from this guy. I heard he's coming after gamers next. Look at this. He's hit 5 guys on motorcycles, 3 grandmas with walking sticks. He didn't just hit the regular grandmas. He hit the ones with walking sticks. I mean, who does that? Got 7 guys on bicycles, 2 guys in a wheelchair, and a VW Beetle or something there. He must have used a monster truck or whatever. Anyway, this guy's dangerous. He probably runs after kitty cats for fun too. So not just the full-grown ones, but the little small ones that are actually cute. So you know what, guys? Watch out for them. Also, stay tuned for more videos and more funny moments of the day. I hope you guys like this. If so, please press that subscribe button. It really means a lot to me. And we'll have a video up for you again next week.